Hi, this is Maria with Through the Fire Fine Craft, and you're watching Sharpologist.
Sharpologist.com.
Hi, I'm Mantic59 here at the Maggards meetup in Michigan, and I'm here with JD and Maria Arman with through the I always get this wrong. Through the Fire Fine Craft, correct?
Yes.
Where did you get that name?
We started out, I threw pottery, and he was doing knives and razors, and we were going to art shows. And when you go to art shows, part of the cost of the art show is per vendor or per artist. So we wanted to go together, blowing glass and pottery and knives and things. And so everything that we do went through fire process at some point in time. So when we started, it made sense. When we started making soap to go into the pottery, it became a little fuzzy, but it's still hot process. All the soap that we do is hot process. So it's still through with some heat, a fire of some sort.
And where are you from?
We're from northern Michigan, so we're almost up to the bridge way in Alanson.
Okay, but so this wasn't too awful far away.
Nope, not bad at all.
Oh, okay, all right. So what kind of inspired you to start with the razor and soap segment of this?
I was asked by a gentleman to start making handmade straight razors for Classic Shaving Heart Steel back 6 years ago now. He approached me and said, would you be interested in being a grinder for Heart Steel? And I said, sure, I'd give it a whirl and see what would happen. I told Maria at the time that I didn't think that this would last more than a couple years. I can't see it running a big course, and it's now going on 7 years of grinding straight razors full time. I am no longer associated with Hart. I'm out on my own now, but for 6 years I was affiliated with Heart Steel and enjoyed all of that time, and now I enjoy being on my own. So we would go to shows, and she was throwing pottery, and I drug her kicking and screaming into the rest of it because she was adamantly saying she was not going to get involved in the wet shaving community. I was only going to throw pottery. Well, most people don't understand straight razor shaving has been around for years, I mean hundreds of years. And people would ask, well, you still use those things? And we're like, yeah. And they're like, well, how do you do it? And we're like, well, you mug and a brush and soap and the straight razor. Okay, you have the mug, you have the straight razor, where do you get the soap? Well, in northern Michigan, there's no soap makers, there's no places to get it. So we were like, well, I think we could, see if we could figure out a formula and make our own soap. And
my mom used to make soap, so it wasn't completely, foreign territory to us to make soap. So we found a basic recipe and decided to tweak it a little bit to fit what we wanted to do, and it was okay. And then make the next one, and that was better, and then the next one, and that was better. And the pucks in the tins because they went in the mugs, and now we've moved on to plastic jars and fun scents. We were doing real classic things to go with the straight razor and sort of historically minded with the pucks and the tins. And so now we've moved into plastic jars and some fun scents that are a little bit different.
Mm-hmm. Okay. You mentioned you were grinding straight razors for 6 years. Was that your career? Was something?
That was a full-time job.
And even what were you doing before that point?
Before that point, I was actually in a built semi-trailer for concrete panels. And then before that, I had cut concrete. I started out as a machinist coming straight out of high school, went to a small machine shop, worked there for 16 years, thought I was set. They decided to move the company, bounced a few jobs. I was kind of in between jobs when I was approached to do the Heart Steel thing and thought it was a good time to try it. It was kind of what I like to do. I like to work with my hands, so it was a lot of fun. But we never really envisioned it at that time 6 years ago, other than just me doing what I do and her doing her stuff.
Yeah, being able to do this, both of us, this is all we do. This is our full-time job, so being able to.
So you've got kind of two different development processes then. You do the software, if you will, and you do the hardware.
Right.
How do you manage to combine that together without getting in each other's way?
two different spaces,
No.
and it has to be completely different spaces. It's three. You know, the pottery is dirty. The soap has to be clean. The razors are dirty. It has to, you know, everything has to be separate. So, and it's all from our house, so everything has its own.
So where do you find your creativity for each segment of this? Where do you find the creativity? Where do you find your creativity for creating a straight razor?
Partly working with the customer. I try to make an affordable line of razors, so I pretty much do a simple basic razor, not a lot of options. But what I feel is I try to, when I'm approached by a customer, I try to match what they're looking for in a blade in what I can do within what my parameters of what I feel comfortable doing. I tell people I'm a professional razor maker. I'm not a custom razor maker. To me, there are two separate things. There are some really great custom makers out there, and they make beautiful stuff. That's not what I do. I make a razor. Is it perfect? No. Is it really close? Yes, but there's a significant price difference between the two. And where I find my inspiration from is just being able to provide someone with a tool that I've had some input into. I feel like I have a part, there's a little bit of me in every razor that goes out the door. Everything's handmade. Very little machine work involved in what I do. And so everything's done by hand. And so being able to connect with the customer and try and provide them with what they're looking for and it meeting their expectations is quite a bit for me.
And what about from your side? Where do you kind of find your creativity for the scents? Or for the soap itself?
We do a lot of private labeling, so we get large quantities of supplies, and we're always ordering things, and you get free samples a lot of times from different places. And so, you know, sometimes it's just catching a whiff of a new essential oil that I haven't smelled in a while or something, or just happening to get two at the same time, and oh, those go together well, and just being able to sort of mad scientist and mix things, and you know, it keeps me sane because we do a lot of production. It's still artisan, it's still small batch, it's still everything's touched, everything's hand done, everything's hand scooped, but we do it in a little bit bigger scale than some of the other artisans, and so that can get, the production work can get kind of boring. So being able to come up with new scents is something fun for me.
Well then, I guess this is a multiple choice question, because I was going to say, what's your most favorite product, or what's your most popular product? But it's really, what's your most popular razor then, and what's your most popular soap?
Well, obviously, we make Maggard's. We make Maggard's. London Barbershop is definitely the most popular scent, which started out as one of our scents, and we shared it with Maggard's, and they liked it, and so we went ahead and it's now exclusively theirs. But it's definitely the best selling of theirs. And then for us, we have one. It's called Ignite, and it's an orange and peach, and it almost has a sandalwood sort of tone to it. And that's been our super popular, nice bright orange.
And do you have a particular style razor that's really popular?
I like the basics. I like a 6/8, right in the middle of the road, good for beginners, but well manageable. Most everybody has a 6/8 in their line. I really enjoyed more. The part for me, the razors are a razor. They all look pretty much the same. It's the scales that really make a razor, so getting to play with different materials is a lot of fun. I enjoy wood more than anything, which is kind of an oddity in this thing. Most people are into the acrylics and the resins and stuff like that, but I prefer wood. And I'd say a 6/8 with a wood scale, with a really nice figured wood scale, would be like top of the line for me.
What's your favorite razor for yourself?
Surprisingly, DE. I tell people straight razors are a time-consuming thing to shave with, so I tend to lean towards the DEs, straight razors on the weekends. I like vintage stuff. I do have a couple of my great-grandfather's razors that I can still put an edge on and use, which is not only enjoyable shave, but gives a bit of a family connection.
Do you have a favorite soap?
See, we have so many soaps in our house that we're testing all the time new stuff, so we're like overrun with soaps. But I have the Lady Gillettes are always my favorites. I have one of each color now, so I'm
well, then you touched on that you're making soap for Maggards. Where are your soaps distributed? Is it available on Amazon? Is it available at Maggards and other places too, or just your website?
Our Through the Fire Fine Craft soaps are available through Maggards and our website, and then we have a couple other wholesalers that we sell to. You can find it on our website. So
Okay.
it's our list of.
So what's next for you guys? Anything new coming down the line that you can talk about?
There'll definitely be a couple new sizes in straight razors. Most of the guys are leaning towards bigger is better, so I'm kind of heading in that direction too. There'll be 8/8 and a 9/8 in the near future coming out. Just introduced the 7/8 at the Maggards meetup. Maggards will be carrying the 7/8 in our line, and then there'll be an 8/8 and a 9/8 to come in the near future.
What about the grinds? Are these generally full hollow or quarter hollow, or?
They're quarter hollow grinds. I lean towards the quarter hollows. I like the feel of them. They got a nice weight. They feel nice on the face, but they're still something that you can use every day. Unlike a wedge can get a little bit irritating some days. And full hollows are nice, but for coarse beards, and I tend to lean towards the coarse hair, it doesn't hold up quite as well.
And what about for scents? Anything new coming down?
We just introduced two today. One that's a Creed Toblerone type scent, and then one that's a lime and ginger that we just are putting out now. And we've been doing a lot of private labeling for a lot of companies and rebranding and that kind of stuff. And so I think that we're going to start. Through the Fire will be out there a little bit more, and we'll
Great.
do some things for.
Well, thank you for sitting down with me, and I appreciate it, and best of luck to you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hi, my name is Mark, otherwise known as Mantic59, and my channel is all about what your father didn't teach you about shaving.